What's up guys, David McElwain here again, and I wanted to talk about the biggest question I get as a photographer, and that is, what camera should I buy? But first, I want to give a few updates. So, the past week or so, I've been turkey hunting a good bit. I went on a hunt with Bobby Cole and his daughter down south with Austin Ashley. Ended up getting a bird there. After that, came back here. I got asked to go film Mr. Fox, and it was one of the craziest mornings turkey hunting I've ever had. We ended up having 4 gobblers all together come in. One, just a gorgeous strutter that came in just right there, and it didn't happen. But if you want to watch that footage, I'm sure it'll be on Mossy Oak Go in the future. We're still trying to get him a bird, and we're all rooting for this week could possibly be it. And after that, me and Blake went hunting, called up some jakes. So the next day, we went out and went hunting public land and got on a bird there, and he came into about 120 yards and just would not crest that hill. It was just so aggravating, but hopefully we're gonna get after him soon. I'm gonna go camp out there and then meet Blake the next morning, and hopefully we'll get after him. But first, I have to get my wisdom teeth taken out, and I've never had any kind of like surgery that I've been put under, so I'm a little anxious to see what I'm going to say after the surgery. But enough with jabbering. The biggest question I get almost daily, almost, not quite every day, but almost daily, is what camera should I buy? And I know I'm going to break some hearts when I say this, and I know I tell everybody that asks me, I don't know what you want to do with the camera. I need to know more about you. I need to know if you're going to be filming your hunts, or if you're just taking pictures around the house, or if you want to do this professionally. Because each one of those is going to be a different camera. And unfortunately, there's just not one camera out there that I can say, hey, this is it, go buy it, and you'll take great photos, or you'll do whatever you want to do amazing. Because it's just not out there, in my opinion. There's a couple cameras out there that are super close to it, but they cost a good bit. So, and hopefully I'll have that soon, but right now I'm hanging with what I got. And my setup, my go-to camera is a Canon EOS R. This little camera right here, it's mirrorless. I can take wildlife photos with it. They don't hear a thing, but that's my go-to camera. And there's a few drawbacks to it, they say, but I've learned that I can make the drawbacks my strengths. So, what the biggest drawback with this camera to me is that it crops in at 4K. And what that means is, you know, a normal 1080 photo, at 4K it crops in a little extra, so it takes away if you have a wide angle lens. But the majority of what I do is for wildlife, and I'm filming stuff farther away with like a 70-200 lens. And with that 4K crop factor, I'm able to punch in even farther. And then also it's got an image stabilization on here that if you enable that, you can actually crop in even further. Another drawback to this camera is not shoot 1080 at 120. So that's my camera. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna buy the R5 here soon, but I really don't want to sell this camera. Like, I really love it, and I am dreading the day that I have to get rid of it. The main lens that I use for most all my shoots, interviews, shoots, whatever, is a 24-70 2.8. This is a really good overall lens. It can get decently wide shots, but then you can zoom in as well, so you can get a little closer to your subject. If I was going to recommend one lens for people to go out and take pictures with, and it was just a one-stop shop lens, it would be a 24-70. So that's my main camera setup. That's what I'm using a lot of the time. But with that said, there's one other lens that I feel like every person should own, and that would be a 70-200 2.8. If you do not know what you're doing, this lens can make you look like you know what you're doing. It is that good. It's a telephoto lens, like I said, 70-200, so you're able to get in pretty close to a lot of your subjects, and it just makes that milky good bokeh background that everybody dreams about. This is that lens that makes that. And if I had one lens to recommend people for a telephoto lens that kind of reached out there a little better, 70 to 200. And that's my setup mainly. I take this lens everywhere I go, hunting, fishing, whatever, traveling, and it's just a great lens to be able to capture some good pictures. And another camera that comes into play a lot is drones. This is honestly one of the older Mavic Pros, but it still does a really good job. I bought this relatively inexpensively, and I have used the fire out of it. I take this on all the trips that I go on, and I'm able to get aerial shots and video, and it's just a really cool angle to get other than your main camera. So if I'm filming hunts or traveling or whatever, I always carry a GoPro with me. They're not the best quality pictures or video in the world, but it captures that second angle that you really kind of need to build a story, in my opinion. And sometimes you don't always get the shot on film, but you can always have that GoPro rolling around you and get a really wide angle of view. And to me, it just adds a little more feel to the story if you can have several angles. This one right here is being filmed with an 80D. It's a really good starter camera, in my opinion. It's a relatively inexpensive, so you can get these for a little, $600-700. So hopefully in the next few weeks, I'll be able to get out and start turkey hunting again. So this weekend, I've got a wedding to film, and then hopefully next weekend, I'll be able to go out to Tennessee and start hunting there. And then hopefully right after that, next weekend, me and my buddy Joe Wesley are going to Kansas to turkey hunt, and it's like a trip that we do every year, so I'm really excited for that. Making videos inside is not my thing whatsoever, but I feel like it's a necessary deal when people are asking, and I feel like it's my obligation to answer the questions that you guys have. I hate it I didn't give you one specific answer. When it comes to buying a camera, you really need to do research on what that camera does and what your goals are, because that is the main thing, and it's not just one camera that I can give you an answer for. So thank you guys for following along. If you don't mind, hit that like button, subscribe please, and I'll catch you guys from the woods of somewhere. I don't know where yet, but I'm gonna be in the woods somewhere. See you guys then.